Hello, fourth graders. Today we are actually going to start a new unit on waves. This is our final science unit for the year. I think you guys will really like it. It's not totally brand new. A lot of the things that we're going to talk are kind of a review from this whole entire year because you actually have been learning about sound waves in every single unit. Well, in the first unit that we did, if you think way back to September and October, we learned about tsunamis and we started studying waves and what a wave looks like with the amplitude and the wavelength. Does that sound familiar? Then during the animal unit, we looked at how your ear works and why you can hear sound. And then in our energy unit, we learned that sound is a type of energy. And it can move from place to place. And so we're going to take all of those ideas and we're going to really learn a little bit more about sound waves and how they work. But you do have some background knowledge. Now, also, if you guys think way back to when you were really little in first grade, you did a unit on sound waves there too, on sound waves and light waves. And so you guys, if I remember correctly, I think built a musical instrument. And we're talking about how sound can travel through waves. So we're going to wrap all that up together and do a few really fun lessons on sound waves. So this is just a little review. Sound is made up of vibrations or sound waves that we can hear. These sound waves are formed by objects vibrating, shaking back and forth. The sound waves can travel through air, water, and solid objects as vibrations. When they reach our ears, these waves make the delicate skin of our eardrums vibrate. Now this here, you guys should recognize we did this back in December. This is what your ear looks on the inside. So the waves come in and they go through, remember we learned this outside part is called the pinna, and it goes right in, right through the ear canal. The sound waves, the vibrations travel, and then this eardrum starts to vibrate. And that's how we can start to process sound. So there's the eardrum. These are the ossicles, these three bones, and they start to vibrate. And then there's liquid inside the cochlea, which will also start to vibrate. And then the message is sent to your brain where your brain can process those vibrations as sounds and you know what you're hearing. And that's kind of how those waves work. So now we're going to look a little bit more about the waves. So we're going to watch a couple videos from Mystery Science, How Far Can a Whisper Travel? And we're going to do the first 4 experiments today. We're going to actually make a paper cup telephone on Wednesday, but today we'll start this and we'll do some experiments with one part of the paper cup telephone. For this experiment, you're going to need a 6-foot piece of string, a paper cup, and a paper clip. Now, I know you might not have those things at home. And if you don't have them at home, you can just watch the video to see how it works. If you do have those at home, you can make it and try this with Doug on Mystery Science. You can also substitute things, and I can't guarantee it's going to work exactly the same, but I think there are some substitutions you could make that would totally make sense. So let's pretend you don't have string, but you have yarn, or you have ribbon, or just any piece of material. And if it's not quite 6 feet, you can try it anyway. That's okay. If you don't have a paper cup, maybe you have a plastic cup. Maybe you have a tin can. Now, if you have a tin can, you're going to need your parents to help you because you're going to have to put a hole in it. But those are some substitutions you could make there. And then the paper clip is how you connect the string to the paper cup. So if you didn't have that, I don't know if it will work, but maybe tape would work, or maybe some other kind of fastener that you can fasten on there. You guys are super creative, so you can come up with something. If you really just don't have the materials, it's okay. You can watch the video and we'll talk about the kind of things that will happen, so you can get an idea. Even if you're not actually doing the activity, you can still have an idea of what might happen. All right, so let's watch Mystery Science. Not working. Let's try again.
Hi, it's Doug. Have you ever played with echoes before? It's fun. You need a place that's long and hollow. A tunnel like this works really well. Are you ready? Or if you don't have this, you could use a room with a huge ceiling, like where this guy is. Are you ready? Listen for when he claps. Well, let's hear that one more time. There's a good chance that you've played with echoes before, and you might even have some ideas about what they are and why they happen. But for little kids, echoes can be really puzzling. Like, watch when this little boy, Zach, who's just 3 years old, went to the Grand Canyon with his dad. While he was there, he discovered his echo for the first time. Let's listen and watch his reaction. You ready?
Have you heard the echo? Say it.
Try hello again.
Hello?
Who are they?
Oh no. I don't know what their names are.
You know, I really think it's just you and me. I think it's just...
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You sure it's not our voices bouncing back?
Yeah.
Because it sounds just like you when you say it, and it sounds like me when I say it. Watch this. Ready? Hello? See, that sounded like me.
No, it's not. It's not going. It's this someone else. No.
Well, who could it be that sounds just like you over there?
Come on. It's not us.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
He talks just like you.
Maybe there's a kid over there that's saying it.
Maybe somebody over there is saying it, you think? Nah.
Hello?
You know more about how sound works than little Zach did when he was 3. But still, it's easy to take sound for granted. We make sounds constantly all day long when we're talking. Hearing our own echo helps us to realize that sound is a thing. When we make a sound, we're sending something, whatever that is, out into the world around us. So what is sound exactly? When we talk or yell or bang a drum or make any kind of noise, what is it that we're creating and sending out into the world around us? You might have some ideas. Go ahead and try this. Put your hand over your throat and say, what do you notice?
All right, so put your hand over your throat and make some sound. What are you feeling with your hand? I'm guessing some of you are thinking it kind of feels like it's moving, it's vibrating. And so the second question is, what do you think sound is? Well, I kind of already told you that sound waves are vibrations. Vibration is when something moves back and forth. So in your throat, when you make that sound, you have vocal cords that are vibrating or moving back and forth, and that is what is making the sound.
When you held your hand over your throat and said, you felt your throat vibrating or creating vibrations. A vibration is another way of saying that something is moving back and forth. But it's not just your voice that creates vibrations. Other sounds do too. Anything you bang on to make a sound, like this drum seen in slow motion, notice as you hit it, you can see it vibrate or move back and forth. Or you might have noticed when music is playing through speakers, you can feel and see those vibrating. Now, this is my friend Pat Murphy. Pat develops activities at Mystery Science. You might have seen her before in some of the activity videos. Pat tells us that her husband Dave plays bass guitar really loudly from the basement of their home. This is Dave playing bass. And Pat notices that when he does this, it makes the whole house vibrate. See? So we've seen lots of evidence that sound creates vibrations. Is it possible that sound is a vibration? What do you think? What are some experiments we could do to learn more about sound and vibrations?
All right, so at this point, if we were in class, I would ask you guys if you have any ideas of different sound experiments we can do. And there are a ton of them out there. We're going to do 4 experiments today, and then we're going to make what's called a paper cup telephone on Wednesday to experiment. And then Friday, I'm going to send you 7 different sound experiments that you could try as some of the choices you can do for Fun Friday. So there's lots of different experiments, and I bet some of you are thinking of some of them right now. But here's our activity.
In today's activity, you're going to try to make a telephone using just 2 paper cups and a piece of string. Now, maybe you're saying, hey, that's not a telephone. Actually, it kind of is. It's an early version going way, way back. The word telephone comes from 2 ancient Greek words. Tele means distance, and phonos means sounds. Put them together, and you get telephone, a sound traveling over a distance. Now, does this really work? And can it teach you anything about sound? Well, see what you can find out. I'll show you how to make one right now, step by step.
Okay, so today, you don't need to get all of these supplies. All you're going to need is a 6-foot piece of string or yarn or ribbon or anything you can think of that you could use to connect the 2 parts of the paper cup phone. You need a paper cup, but you could also use a plastic cup or a tin can. If you use either of those things, you're probably going to need your parents' help in order to put the hole in the bottom. And then you need a paper clip to attach the string to the paper cup. Again, you might be able to use tape. I'm not sure how that will work. You're not going to be filling anything out today, so no experiment sheets, and you don't need a pencil. So these are the 3 things that you're going to need. So if you want to build this with me, like while we watch this, you need to go get those materials now. If you want to save the experiment part for later, you could pause this and come back to it, or you can watch the experiments. And then when you find these materials or get these materials, then you can try it. And for some of you, you might not be able to get the materials, and so you can just watch the experiment and we'll talk about it. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to watch Doug make these this part of the experiment, and we're going to talk about it together.
Tie a knot in one end of the string, like this.
All right, so you notice how they have like a loop here at the end. So they're tying the knot kind of down here. That's important. So that's how you're going to want to tie it. If you need to watch this again, you can just press pause, rewind a little bit, and watch it again, and you try it. You make that knot in your string.
Hold the paper clip exactly like this. I'll give you a few seconds to do this. Okay, now push down the back. Slide in the loop of string. Take the 2 ends and twist them apart like this. Make sure it looks like this when you're done.
All right, so if you have the paper clip, do you see how he did this? Watch again. He's going to hold the paper clip like that. Then he's going to push down the back of the paper clip. Then he's going to slide the string into the paper clip. So it's right there on the bottom. And then he's going to pull it apart so it like really holds onto it just like that. Now, if you don't have a paper clip and you're going to try to attach it with a tape, you're going to see how this turns out so you can try something different. But hopefully a lot of you have a paper clip at home.
Use the pencil to poke a hole in the cup like this. Then push the paper clip through the hole. This will stop the string from falling out.
So you guys see how you do that? So you actually did need a pencil. I thought you could poke a hole with the paper clip, but you might need a pencil. So again, if you don't have everything you need or you need some more time, you just press pause and watch. Now, do you see how they did that though? I think you probably could tape the string on the inside of the cup like that. So if you don't have a paper clip, that would be one solution that I think could be possible, is to just tape the string on the inside. All right, when you're ready to go on, you can press play again.
Let's do a few quick experiments. Experiment 1. Hold a cup over your mouth and say a few words. Do you feel anything in the cup? For 30 seconds, try making different sounds. Like, what happens if you talk with a deep voice? Or what happens if you sing? Are you ready? Go!
All right, so what do you think? Did you feel anything? How would you describe what you're feeling? All right, I'm hoping you guys are saying that you feel vibrations, that when you're making those sounds, you can actually feel the paper cup or plastic cup vibrating in your hand. Now, if you're using a tin can, I don't know if you'll feel those vibrations because that's a lot thicker, but that's what the point of this part of the experiment is that you should actually feel how the sound is making a vibration. And so that's sound energy traveling through the air and then moving into the cup to make the cup vibrate. Here's experiment 2.
Experiment 2. Hold the string and talk into the cup. Do you feel anything in the string? Try it with the string loose and when you pull it straight. Does that change what you feel? Try it out now.
All right, so press pause and try this part. So you're going to hold on to the string, you're going to talk into the cup, and you're going to see if you can feel anything in that string. And again, you're feeling for vibrations. And so they say to try it 2 ways. One, when you're holding the string taut, that means you're pulling it so it's tight. And the other is when you're letting it kind of hang loosely. And is there any difference in the vibrations when you do those 2 things? When you're ready to go on to experiment 3, go ahead and press play.
Experiment 3. Gently rub the string. Can you hear it? Then put the cup to your ear. What do you notice?
Okay, do you see what she's doing? So she's going to put her cup up next to her ear. She's rubbing that string, and then she's listening to see if she hears. Is that making any sound? So go ahead and try that one.
Experiment 4. Pull the string tight and pluck it gently. What do you notice? Try it with the cup on your ear and away from your ear.
All right, so press pause here again and try those experiments. You're going to pull the string tight. You're going to pluck it gently next to your ear, away from your ear. Do you hear anything? Okay, so this is for next time.
To make your telephone.
We're not going to make it today.
Find a partner and decide who will be voice and who will be ear.
All right, we're going to save that part for Wednesday. So I didn't give you any answers to the experiments on purpose because I'm not going to have you turn anything into me today. But if you did this experiment, what I want you to do is under the comment section, post some of your observations. So think back to the 4 experiments you did. Tell me, did you feel the vibrations or did you hear anything when you were plucking the sound? And that way you guys can kind of have a discussion and talk to each other. So I want you to comment, but I want you to also read other kids' comments. See what they noticed. Did you guys have the same results with yours? You can definitely share things. See, when you guys turn things into me, I'm the only person who gets to read them. But if you put a comment in, you guys can read each other's comments and find out how the experiment worked for other people. If you can't do the experiment, this is a great way also for you to see what happened is to read what your friends discovered. So for example, you might post, I didn't have a paper cup. I tried it with a plastic cup, but I could still feel the vibrations and I could hear a noise when I was plucking this, if that's what happened for you. So, you only have to write 1 or 2 sentences, but share what happened in your experiment if you were able to do it. On Wednesday, we're going to learn more about sound waves and we're going to make a paper cup telephone. So save your experiment from today. Don't throw it away because you're going to need it for Wednesday. And then you're going to need 1 more paper cup, 1 more paper clip, and 1 more 6-foot length of string because you're going to make it so you have both sides. And then you're going to need a partner to talk to. And we're going to actually see if we can make sound travel across that whole 12-foot long length of string and talk back and forth. So that will happen on Wednesday. Today, it's going to say you didn't turn something in. Unless you go and actually check off that you finished this and the lesson is completed. So you have to mark it as done. To do that, you have to click on where it says Alicia Sherman posted a new assignment. Then it'll bring you to another screen and there's a spot where you can mark done. And so when you finish this, just mark it as done. All right. If you have any questions, you can comment them to me. And I hope you guys have fun experimenting with sound waves.